with immigration.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Stephanie Miller Show.
I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, and it's time to feel good. Hey, all right now, and it's time to feel good.
It is the Stephanie Miller Show, awaiting coffee with Carlos Alzraki live in hour number 3, 1-800-STEP-12, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. Yes, indeed, as I said, it is not a Muslim no-go zone here on the Stephanie Miller Show, because here he is, Dean Obeidallah. Here we go. Oh, okay.
Here he goes, yes, it's Dean Obeidallah. Yes, it's Dean Obeidallah. Dean Obeidallah.
Good morning, Dean.
Good morning, and thank you very much for not making your show a Muslim no-go zone. That's really sort of my fear. That I have to get like a Muslim easy pass. I can be able to from my non-Muslim friends, so you can come through the Muslim no-go zones. And if you're at a Muslim no-go zone, just mention my name, and they will let you in at a discount. I promise that by the people who man the stations at the no-go zones around New York.
Thank you.
We have like a velvet rope. It's very classy in New York. Velvet rope. There's a bouncer there with a list, and if you're not on a list, you can get in. A lot of people want to get in, but if you're not Muslim enough looking, you're sorry. Can't help you.
Yeah. I appreciate that. You wrote a piece, Bobby Jindal wants to fistfight your God. Here is Governor Bobby Jindal now. Take a listen.
It is not acceptable for individuals to come into Western society and refuse to abide by our values. It's just common sense to me. If you don't want to be an American, don't come to America. If we're not careful, the same no-go zones you're seeing now in Europe will come to America. We want to use our freedoms to undermine that freedom in the first place. This is a place where we have freedom of self-determination, freedom of religious liberty, freedom of speech. This is an amazing place, and we're a majority Christian country. We're a Judeo-Christian heritage.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he said that Muslim immigrants, it's not immigration, it's invasion yesterday. It's all part of there was a British invasion in the 60s, made popular by music.
Yes.
Now there's the Muslim invasion made popular by falafel and kebabs. We're bringing that in. Bobby Jindal, I call it Jindal's jihad of hate. That's what I'm...
Well, he spoke to the American Family Association, which is a hate group. It has been designated a hate group by, the Southern Poverty Law Group. Yeah, he just spoke there, and he actually said, our God wins. And you gave a little pop quiz. Who do you think said this? A, the leader of ISIS, B, a Yemeni militant commander, C, a radical Islamic cleric, or D, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal. And of course, the correct answer. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Our God beats up your God. But, at first blush, it just seems like puffery. Like, how many gods are out there? Bobby Jindal used to be a Hindu till he converted.
Right.
So he knows in the Hinduism there are literally millions of gods.
Right.
So to say our God wins, he means his God has to beat up millions of gods.
Millions of his previous gods. Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What?
They would have to beat up, his God now would have to beat up throngs of his previous gods.
That's a tough fight. I think it'd be a great TV, don't you? Pay-per-view. I'm paying for that. Forget March Madness.
Right.
You have months of deity fights.
Brackets of God versus gods for years.
Corner is, it's this guy, Brahman versus Bobby's God. I don't know what God he believes in. It's not the same God I think most people in the Abrahamic faiths believe in. But that's up to you. I don't.
Wow. So but you say their God apparently has been working out, ready to kick ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He is. My God can beat up your God. Usually you don't hear that in church or in the mosque or in temple. But when you're at the AFA, the American Family Association, that's a applause break. That's a show-stopping line. And it really was, because that's what the reports from the media was. He went to the AFA. He started last week with the Muslim no-go zones that are coming to America, which you just played the clip of. He began that last week after Fox News had apologized literally 4 times on air, 4 times saying, we made a mistake. We fabricated that. Steve Emerson, the expert, made it up. It's not right. He still made the speech afterwards saying there's a no-go zone, and continuing. When Fox News retracts anti-Muslim bigotry, it's got to be so ridiculous. The guys there are like, look, we can't even put this up. Let's pull it. It's just insane.
Well, and as we were saying, we've talked before, Muslims are the new gays. Mm-hmm. Orange is the new black. And because you say apparently if you ask leaders of the AFA what would Jesus do, they would respond, demonize gays and Muslims.
Yeah, Jesus would do that, I think. It's
Yeah.
a different New Testament. They have the Bobby Jindal Sean Hannity translation of the Bible, I think. But
Yeah.
it's, and I have friends who are gay and Muslim, so they've got daily double. They got two
Oh,
things
boy.
going for them.
Boy.
I don't know. It's really they need a hug.
But you were,
I have some on my radio show to talk about being gay and Muslim in the near future because it's an interesting situation for them, obviously, being gay and Muslim in America.
you had given us a sample of the AFA's views because it is amazing that all the Republican candidates go to speak to them and
Yeah.
get their blessing and whatever. Here are some, it's a brief sampler.
Okay.
Like a Whitman sampler.
It's a buffet.
Yes.
A little buffet, whatever you like, whatever you hate, gays, Muslims, you want Christian dominionism, they
Right.
got it for you. It's a whole
Right.
buffet.
This is from Brian Fisher. Gays are blamed for the Holocaust. Homosexuality gave us Adolf Hitler, and homosexuals in the military gave us the brown shirts, the Nazi war machine, and 6 million dead Jews. God will use ISIS to punish America for gay rights. Yeah.
He's going to use the pagan armies of Allah, he said, to discipline the United States for our debauchery, which means same-sex marriage. That's what he's really saying.
Right.
I see.
Right.
There you go, that.
He also said, I've contended for years the First Amendment, as given by the founders, provide religious liberty protections for Christianity only.
Only. That's Brian Fisher. And that's a month ago. I mean, that's August. This isn't like years ago. Every quote you read, except for the first one from 2010, the rest are all within the last 6 or 7 months. This
Yeah.
guy is. Brian Fisher has the radio show on the AFA. He is the face of the AFA. He's
Yeah.
on shows. He defines their agenda. And they have 500,000 subscribers. They have over 100 employees. They are really a powerful right-wing group that spews hate. And we give these politicians a pass going on it. I mean, he even blamed the Charlie Hebdo attack because he even said it's God's punishment for the magazine's blasphemy, not their versus Prophet Muhammad, because they had mocked Jesus in the past and the God of the Bible.
yeah, yeah.
And he goes, you can't take the name of the Lord in vain. So he
Yeah.
suggested that was their proper punishment in a way. It was
Right.
their punishment. I'm not sure proper.
He also said immigrants to the U.S. must convert to Christianity. Gays should not serve in public office. I believe being an active homosexual should disqualify you from public office because it's a form of sexual
as
perversion.
opposed to one of the inactive kind.
Yeah, the inactive kinds
Latent
are.
homosexuals.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you're active, I don't know how you.
If you're
describe
lazy,
yourself,
it's
but you
fine.
might be disqualified from running for office.
Right.
I hate
Yeah.
to tell you that, but if Brian Fisher and his Bobby Jindals and the Mike Huckabees and Rick Perry, who goes on their shows, and Rick Santorum and Newt Gingrich, if any of them will become president, is this part of their agenda? And the media just gives them a pass. It goes, oh, no, they're just pandering for votes. No. You know what? I think we've given them a pass. I think, honestly, perhaps these guys actually agree with this. And we're just saying they don't because they're
Yeah.
smart people and Ivy League educated. I no longer do that. I believe if you go to the AFA, if you're the keynote speaker like Bobby Jindal was at their event, if you go on their radio show, you attend their events to get votes, we assume you agree with these positions of the AFA unless we hear you denounce them specifically, each one that you disagree with, because both us and the AFA followers should know what you agree with of
Yeah.
their agenda and what you don't. I think it's fair for all of us.
Yeah, and you said it could be because Jindal's running in 11th out of 12th place
Yeah.
among GOP candidates for president with 2.8%
Aw.
support. Actually, he's literally running behind the
into the
poll.
margin of error right now.
Yeah,
So
behind the margin of error. Okay, so that's good for him. By the way, I was very interested in your take on American Sniper, which you call a powerful anti-war film.
I do.
And you
I
said
think I'm alone in that. No, I'm not alone in
No,
that.
you're not alone in
No.
that.
Clint Eastwood said it too. Clint
Yeah.
Eastwood just said it the other day. And, to me, the American Sniper has become the film version of the song Born in the USA.
Yes.
Where the right has glorified that catchy chorus, Born in the USA, without reading the rest of the lyrics. It's not a pro-America song. It's a song about the Vietnam and the way we treat our veterans and critical of U.S. policy and the Vietnam War and the way we treat our veterans. This movie, American Sniper, to me, Clint Eastwood, if people go see it, if you haven't seen it, be aware of this. Every single veteran you see in the film is damaged in some way. Physically, lost hands, lost arms, lost souls. Every one. And that was Eastwood's point, that war is horrible. And we shouldn't glorify waging it. We should be aware of the heavy price we pay everyone who goes into it.
But you also had said you were curious because of some of the vicious anti-Muslim comments you saw on social
my
media. Well, here's one. Let's one tweet that said, "Great movie. Now I really want to kill some ragheads. Nice to see a movie where Arabs are portrayed for who they really are, vermin scum intent on destroying us. American Sniper made me hate Muslims 1,000 times more."
I think it was 1 million, but yeah.
A million
you're
times
getting
more,
it.
sorry.
They put 1 million. But this is not just a handful. It got so bad that the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee, the ADC, my friend Sam Califf is the president, wrote a letter to Warner Brothers, the studio, and to Clint Eastwood, saying there were literally hundreds and threats to the point where they actually had to go to the FBI and turn over information. And the FBI is actually investigating threats made against Muslim Americans by these people who have seen the film and say now, I want to hurt Muslims. I want to hurt you because what I saw in American Sniper. So it's gone beyond like the handful of garbage we see to really an alarming movement where the FBI is actually taking it seriously.
Well, you
And
know,
Warner Brothers put out a statement yesterday. Warner Brothers actually put out a statement yesterday saying we denounce these hateful comments. There's no place in the film. This is not what our film's about. And so it was great. Warner Brothers actually made a.
But you made a point, Dean. You said, I'm fairly confident those who made hateful comments about Arabs and Muslims hated us before they stepped into the movie theater. The film just gave them an excuse to voice their bigotry. Right. And I think that's probably true. Interesting, the point about Eastwood you made, because I think because of that crazy anti-Obama chair thing that he did,
right,
people assume he's right-wing. But you were saying he's not only been publicly opposed to the Iraq War, he even questioned waging the war in Afghanistan. So, as you say, I mean, you actually said it's the most powerful anti-war film you've ever seen.
It was, because it's not just the horrors of war. We've seen that. It's the horrors of post-war.
Yeah,
I mean, literally, every veteran you see, there's even a veteran who looks normal that Chris Kyle, the star, the guy who's the whole movie's based on, sees this guy, and he looks normal. And he goes, oh, I saw you in the war. And he lifts his leg up, and his leg is missing. He pants up, and his leg's missing. So even ones, and I think the point of Clint Eastwood as a storyteller, as a director, is to show that even veterans who look normal on the outside, they're wounded somehow.
Yeah.
And he showed.
I said that quote that's on the new memorial there. There are no unwounded soldiers in war. I mean, no one comes home unwounded. I mean, and what you make a great point here too is you say Kyle was not killed by an Iraqi. He was killed by a U.S. veteran who had PTSD. He was back home. You say if people are angry about that or about the fate of the other Americans who suffered in the war, they should focus not on American Muslims, but those who led our country into the war based on questionable reasons.
If you want to be mad at someone because of what you saw, be mad at Bush and Cheney for lying to us about the weapons of mass destruction and selling us a war on a rancid false bill of goods. That's who you should be angry with, not American Muslims. I understand someone doesn't like Muslims. They see a film and some guys get killed by Iraqis and like, I'm going to hate all Muslims. Those people you're not going to get to think it through. But for the rest of us, who should you really be mad at? The ones who sent you to war, not the Muslim Americans living our lives here. What do we have to do with any of this? But logic doesn't usually play for bigots.
And that's why I was saying I don't even really, get the whole Michael Moore debate. To me, Chris Kyle is like any other soldier, is a soldier that was following orders, but as you ended up, I love the way you say his focus is not on whom we're fighting, but on unbearably high price Americans pay for waging war, regardless of its target. The film is a cautionary tale for Americans about why we must avoid war. It's not a celebration of waging it. And exactly, if you look at Chris Kyle's fate, you're like, no
one gets out alive. I mean, it was that whole thing. Like, you don't get out unscathed, and it's a high price, and and to me, Clint Eastwood deserves an award for making an anti-war movie that the right's cheering.
Yeah.
Breitbart and other publications have literally wrote articles cheering this as the great pro-war film, and it shows black and white, and there's no moral ambiguity. America's right. Every American person, every veteran we've seen in the film is wounded and injured or dead. So, it's not some rah-rah movie, but people on the right, like I said, like Born in the USA, they're going to see what they want in it, and some on the left see what they want in it. We are all guilty of that on some level.
Right.
I try to be.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen was like the Dropkick Murphys to Scott Walker. We literally hate you. Stop using our music. Yeah. It doesn't mean what you think it means.
But so it doesn't. It doesn't think what you think it means from Princess Bride. But exactly no. But it's really. We all go in. I try to go in as objective as possible. I really went in going, oh my God, they're going to be like torture scenes, or the Iraqis torture American troops and things like that. No, nothing like that's in the film. It's run-of-the-mill fighting, and most of the Iraqis are like cartoon characters. The one main guy doesn't even have lines. The biggest killer, he didn't make it about the Iraqis. It could have been any war, any place. They could have easily been Vietnamese people we were fighting against, or North Koreans, or anybody else you want.
Yeah, interesting. Well, Dean, great stuff as always, which is why I will remain a Muslim go zone.
Yes. And
you guys you're free. I'm going to send you a pass. And all your listeners, if they listen to my radio show, I will give them a code to get in every Muslim no-go zone for free
and
for 30 days. That's 30 days. After that, you're on your own.
And when and where can they listen to your show?
Oh, I will beg them to listen to my show. It's on Sirius XM Radio on the same channel as John Fugelsang on Sirius
I know him.
Channel 121. And I'm Saturday mornings, 10 to noon, live. And people can call in. We do Ask a Muslim a segment, Ask a Muslim a question. We get Keith Ellison on, my buddy, the first Muslim congressman.
I'm going to be at the Blue State Ball with him in